every time. I mean, every last time, guys. And still, if somebody thought enough of me to hit, well, I guess maybe it's because I'm that bad of a person, but if somebody thought of me that much, I would just think like, oh, jeez, thanks. Like, it normally gives me a little anxiety because I'm like, I don't know if I like you as much as you like me, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I don't know. I mean, why can't you just smile, get through the moment, and move on? This guy says, why is it a rule I'm not allowed to eat if nobody else is? I'm hungry. We're in a public place. You're not eating? Who cares? I want mozzarella sticks. Let's get this going. Yeah? I didn't know that was a thing. Did you know that was one of those? I didn't know that was. Like, if we meet somewhere, like, all right, it's not necessarily uncommon for me and a couple of buddies I know to meet at Conestoga. We like that place, right? And so we'll go in there. It's a great bar. Great place to get a couple of cocktails. But the menu's pretty good, too. So sometimes, Thursday, whatever, hey, we'll meet there. Yeah, 6 bucks. Here you go. Hey, man, guess what? Get something? You hungry? I gotta get home, do the wife's making all right, well, I'm gonna get some. You know what I mean? You guys have wives. What I have is depression. I'm gonna eat this here. You know, and then, you do that. I don't think that's, but you know what? I'm the guy who can go to the movies by himself. I can go into a restaurant by myself. Go out of my way to do all of those things by myself. To me, I didn't know that was a rule. Was that me being rude this whole time? I did not know that. I did not know I was not supposed to be eating it. Now, this person says, stop blessing me when I sneeze. Quit drawing attention to it. And the next person says, well, actually, now that you brought it up, let's keep blessing sneezes. We need to start blessing farts. Why is it this one I got to run completely out of the room, and that one is like, you're all right. You know what I mean? With, burp and that kind of thing. Burp versus fart, I suppose. Well, I'm going to guess about the travel of scent. The scent travel there is going to be different per gas cloud, if you will. Farts seem to move, and I hate that word, but they seem to move through the room, where a burp, if you're standing pretty close to somebody, maybe, which, by the way, that sometimes is worse, right? When somebody burps and you can smell it. Now, maybe it's because if you have heard them toot, or whatever the thing is that you're expecting it to be rank, maybe that's baked into that expectation. Standard is, as long as we say bless you, that ripping ass is all right then. I'm okay with that. Societal rule I want to get rid of. Societal rule I want to get rid of. Girl code. I think it's ridiculous that it's unacceptable to date a friend's ex just because it didn't work out for them. It was a friend of mine that I grew up with, so I've lost touch with a lot of those kind of guys as far as like hanging out with them a ton. It feels like it's hanging there between us a little. Like, dude, there's a lot of people. You had to do. It's like, well, friend, maybe not even their relationship. It's not just like, I'll knock some free, right? Like, that feels a little crazy. Like, show. First, Rock 106.9. We have had some technical difficulties. That one was because your host is an idiot. Sorry, that's an uncomfortable listen. My bad on that. You and I have been talking about some societal rules. These are things that everybody kind of knows you're supposed to do, but because we live in the religion of me era, people are a little bit done with it now. Like this guy wants, he kind of wants fart to be like burps. It's like, let it go, and you just excuse it. No, I don't like that one. This person said, I can't stand when people say respect their elders. Some of the nastiest people I've ever met are over 70. And then furniture sales, you don't deserve to be respected when you're an ass. Good job, you've survived to be a dinosaur. Respect is earned, not given. Remember that, Edith. All right, I think what people got to remember here is that standards and expectations change over decades. And so, sometimes what's happening is the 7-year-old's walking into a store and not understanding, why aren't you nice to me? Like, people used to really kind of kill you with the kindness and the service and the thing. And believe me, it's not like they were raking in, $900 an hour. It's like, so where did this go? My name is Edith. You got that part right. But why is society a trash hole I can't recognize anymore? I'm not sure that that's insane. It's about telling the 14-year-old, unless they spend money here, none of us will live inside, you little douchebag. So take the piercing off, smile in their faces, put the money in the goddamn register, and then tweet about them when they walk out, like every other American employee. You had to call them names when they were standing in my establishment? Like, the customer is always right, is the money is right. So you put on the best little shiny version of yourself, smile until you get the transaction done, and then move on with your day. This isn't hard. It's annoying. Might not necessarily be hard there. This brings the service industry into it. Expecting people to work food service jobs and be bright and bubbly all at the same time. Have happy conversations with every customer. It's exhausting, thankless, and a stressful job that doesn't pay enough to be your dancing monkey. This one's hard, man, because I've served, and most people are never in a position of power anywhere in their lives. As a matter of fact, a lot of you listening aren't in it, and maybe you shouldn't be, but you don't even have the upper hand in your home. Somebody else kind of like, dude, just don't get her started. Like, just don't get her started, bro. Or don't get up. Are you kidding me? No, he's just gonna, you don't even have that. But somehow, because we're out on date night 2 for 20, I have this little position of power. And I shall not waste it. No. And so sometimes people get off on mistreatment of a server. And I don't understand it. So many and this is where I would normally be guilty of saying things like, you. But my boss is currently in his office right now with the door closed and locked with headphones on, I guess is listening to the previous hour of this program, making the decision whether or not I work here Monday. Right? So like that may be part of that situation. It's tough, dude. But the point I'm saying there is I could have to be a server tonight. And I think too many people forget that. Now, I've also been a server. Bad customer. A bad one. Meaning your attitude about the last one has changed this table now moving forward, which affected this tip, which will then affect it can be like that. I think it's about expectations, like a lot of things will be. They're only supposed to be so nice to you. We're not royalty. Hi, how are you guys tonight? My name is Dan. I'll be taking care of you. Would you like, can I get you something from the bar? No? Okay. Would you like to hear the specials? Okay. Here's a couple of menus. All right, I'll be right back with your water. That's about as nice as you gotta be. Hey guys, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. No, I want to walk out. There's a coffee company. I think they're here now. No, they're not here, but they're called Dutch Bros. It started in the small town in Oregon where I lived, and I refused to go. Because every morning when you get up to the window, hi, welcome to Dutch, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, are you crazy? Did they inject happiness anally into you? What happened here? And like, dude, dial it down. Because it's fake. Those kids aren't happy to see me like that. They can't stand me. And I know that. Just a smile and a be nice is enough. But some people are kind of looking for, because we don't have a position of power, because our bosses are dicks, or whatever the thing may be. Our own teenagers hate us for crying out loud. That somehow now the Denny's restaurant waitress better make up for all of that. Otherwise, she's terrible at her job. That's a lot to put on the, moons over my hammy lady. You know what I mean? That is a lot to be putting on Alice's plate, man. Like, I don't know about that. So, yes, I think, but I will tell you that I think service has gotten really, really bad. Really bad. I'm an over-tipper no matter what happens. We've talked about it a million times, and this isn't about patting me on the back. But more often than, that's not fair. It's not more often than not. Too often, I find myself while over-tipping going, well, this is why people don't, though. You were, like, legitimately, you were awful at this. Like, that service is getting worse by the day. And yes, some of it is, I'm not paid enough to do this, so this is the version you're getting of it. And I want to condemn it. But the conditions of this job being really, really annoying completely shifted the focus and the content of this show this morning. So as much as I would like to be judgmental about that, and still am in my mind going, might have to pull short of that one today, though, Holmes, because you have taken the plane known as the Stansbury Show on Rock 106.9 and have flown it right into the side of the building. and I have a little, haven't I? They say, putting an age limit on returning to education. This is a societal rule we need to get rid of. I'm not an alien. I'm 26. I'm an adult returner. That's a thing? Is that a phrase somebody snuck in this last year that I didn't know about? I'm an adult returner, and it's normal that I'm here. Just because I'm not just because I'm just not right out of school doesn't mean it's weird. Well, it's abnormal in the sense that you don't see it a ton. I think the mentality of this is strange. If I said to most people walking down the street, do you wish the average American was smarter? 100% of the respondents are going to tell me yes. They would think they're smarter than the average bear, but then they would also tell me they wish everybody in society was smarter. Absolutely, that return rate would come back at a 100% pop score is what we would call it in the radio. It for sure would. And yet, if you see somebody a little older going back to school, you'd probably at first maybe think about making the Rodney Dangerfield joke and then look around at everybody and go, none of these people were born when that movie came out, so I'll just be quiet and be like, look, that guy gonna be a golden girl by the time he gets. Welcome back to the program. On your socials, The Stansbury Show. Next hour, how some people have gotten fired from their jobs and should have maybe seen some of these coming. We'll get into it. We spent a lot of time yesterday talking about Weezer. It's because, and I'm sure by now, plenty of you have heard this, that the wife of the bassist of Weezer, I believe, has now been charged with attempted murder of a police officer. Jillian Schreiner has. She's 51. She was shot and wounded, not fatally, this outside of a Los Angeles home. Wednesday afternoon, this happened. She was arrested and booked for attempted murder. The Los Angeles Police Department alleges that she had fired her weapon at cops during the Hollywood-style showdown. Now, I had seen that multiple times yesterday, and then I had seen it, well, no, there's conflicting reports that she did not. So I wanted to look. This article has been published April 11th, 2025 at 5:20 this morning is when this came out, NewYorkPost.com. An LAPD investigation has since revealed shell casings as video footage of the ordeal showed her repeatedly refusing to comply with officers. Investigation revealed evidence such as shell casings and video footage showing her repeatedly ignored police commands to disarm and that she fired her weapon at LAPD officers. That's Jennifer Forkish, LAPD Director of Communications. Now, we talked about this, I got into this a little bit yesterday about the whole, I was surprised she was alive when police fire at you, the training and, and so I was, especially if you have fired at them. And I had said yesterday, I was like, if we end up finding out this woman fired at them and she finds herself alive at this, by Saturday, we're going to be having a completely different conversation as a country about it. And I think I'm mostly still going to end up being right about that. Somebody said this to me yesterday. He was like, you realize, dude, that the cop was he just missed. He had it off. Maybe she moved it, an inch here, there, and this. And he's like, I don't think they were just trying to shoot her in the shoulder, Dan. I don't know, wasn't standing right. The videos I've seen were this. There had been a hit-skip situation, hit and run, right? And the police are looking for one of the suspects. One of them apparently had gotten out of the vehicle, had stripped down to boxer shorts, I believe. Backyards in a neighborhood, this in Eagle Rock, east of Los Angeles. And so cops are now running through the backyards looking. She's the neighbor. This isn't her yard, by the way. Now, you're close, and if the cops were in my neighbor's backyard, I've talked about this, right? Like, am I going to, like, maybe be out my driveway, like, gee, I wonder what's going on over there, right? Like, yes, I am a firearm owner. If I see police in my neighbor's backyard, my first thought isn't going to be, well, grab the gun, dummy, go out there, and whatever, be sure. I mean, dude, just point. Canton's finest. Here it is, man. Point it right at you. Whatever you do, don't fire at me, though. I mean, like, what? Like, if the CantonRep.com reports Monday morning, Stansbury, in his driveway, walked out, pointed his 9mm at cops, and you find out I got shot. You shocked? What'd you think was going to happen, Stoner? I mean, isn't that what you're thinking? Yeah, that's what you're thinking. I said this yesterday. You know, for a reputation that cops have where they just murder everybody. Oh, what are you doing, 70 on the freeway? Pull them over, put a gun in the back of their head. That's the way they get talked about. So why are we still pointing guns at them? Are we maybe not believing some of the things we've been saying? And that's why we're still pointing guns at them when we had nothing to do with the situation? We were in our home. Came out of there and interjected ourselves into the situation. Is it because maybe we don't necessarily believe all the rhetoric that we out there repost? Because if you actually believe that about them, meaning the LAPD or any PD, and you see them in somebody else's backyard, aren't you going to think to yourself, well, I'm going to get my ass shot if I go out there, right? They're lawless. The Old West, just gunmen. Just can't wait to mow you down with the weapon. But what the hell did you go outside with the gun in your hand for? Some of this isn't making sense. None of it is making sense. Now, apparently, she is very pro-Second Amendment. Now, you know what? I'll be careful there. You know what? Allow me to clean that up. More than a couple of her social media videos are her with her gun at the range, getting proficient, taking a, you know what I mean, target practice and the like. I would imagine that if you are a gun owner and that is some of your social media content, that you believe in in an American's right to own a firearm. You know what I mean? But let me just say that that's how I had come to that conclusion. Is by seeing that. Weezer's scheduled to play Coachella tomorrow, 3:10 in the afternoon. Not a lot of the updates were happening yesterday while you and I were having a conversation. I said, I don't know what there's gonna. I'm curious what they'll do. I'm Gen X, and I don't know. It's really your Weezer. It's certain privilege, right? I'm not sure, or whatever. Although I don't know, the Coachella crowd might actually just. Did she try to shoot cops? Yay! Can I get my Coachella beads now? I mean, that might be that crowd for all I know, right? Who knows? They're still gonna play. He's playing. That's nuts. I am a little shocked. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's awful. Oh my God, I gotta cancel Weezer. Never listen to Weezer ever again. Never. No. I am a little surprised they're gonna do it that way. Now, maybe no harm, no foul. TMZ had video of that dude, the husband. Just walking the pubs down the street yesterday. And all the neighbors, hey man, how are you? Guys, I mean, it was like this thing didn't happen. It's very strange to me. She's out on $1 million bond, by the way. You know. A lot of people said, well, the celebrity in this. I don't think Weezer's big enough for that. And I don't think the bass player in Weezer's going to be big enough. I'd have to check all of the writing credits, but Rivers wrote a ton. I mean, a good portion. Although, who was his writing partner in Harvard? Was it the drummer, or it might have been Scott, actually? Whoever, I mean, that's what the label's going to be trying to figure out at some point. Who do we really need in order to make Weezer a thing? Do fans actually know who this guy is if this doesn't happen? What did he write? Rivers, talk to me about what he wrote. All right, so at that point now, it's just about giving them the 3 points on the publishing until the end of life, though, right? And then essentially what we get now is we get $1,000 a show basis we hire as just like the hired gun. So you end up saving yourself money, and we end up doing the right thing? All right, Scott, your parting gifts on the table, buddy. We'll be seeing you.
The Stansberry Show.
I'm being sung by a society that demands success when all I can offer is failure.
On Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show. We've been talking about Scott Schreiner a little bit. He's the bass player in Weezer. Which, by the way, his wife, who is the one who's been arrested for attempted murder of a police officer, this in Los Angeles, after pointing a firearm at cops who were in her neighbor's backyard. She had come out of the house. She was not part of this situation any bit. Not even a little bit was she part of this. She interjected herself into this situation, which makes it really strange. And we've been talking about that. She's out on like $1 million bond. See, I said yesterday, I'm willing to bet they may reduce charges at some point. Now, that was before there had been conflicting reports on whether or not she had fired her weapon or not. Multiple sources this morning are still out there saying conflicted. New York Post at 5:20 this morning does say that police have confirmed that. I've got articles pulled up in front of me. One says they have, one says they haven't. Both were updated an hour and a half ago. So, I don't know what to make of that. Welcome to information today. Yay, so fun, right? So, like, that's a little bit of an issue. So I just want to be careful there as a member of the mainstream media there. I would like to be as careful as I possibly can on them. You and I speculating yesterday. Well, they're set to play Coachella 3:10 tomorrow. Like, they're not going to do that, are they? Now, I said, well, I'm a Gen Xer. Show must go on. That's the way it always was. No, dude, Randy Rhoads died. A plane went down, dude, and Randy Rhoads died. Like 2 days later, dude, they looked at Ozzy and said, you better get your ass on that stage and sing it. Buddy, we already got a guy. Dude, we got a guy. Ozzy, get your loser drunken ass out there and sing it, bitch. Show goes on. Welcome to show business. Now, some of the curtain has been pulled back, and you all now have shaken hands with Oz. And because that has happened, we have seen some changes in how entertainment is packaged and then presented. I didn't say for sure, but my inkling is that you will see Weezer go, maybe not right now. We're not necessarily looking to break out. We're Weezer, for crying out loud. Maybe what we'll do is, since there's 9,000 people playing this damn thing, we're playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We clearly don't matter anymore. So why don't we just maybe not go? Right? Why don't we maybe just not do that? But that's not what they're going to do. Weezer is still set to play tomorrow, 3:10. By the way, multiple articles here pulled up in front of me. One of them says, unsure whether or not Scott Schreiner will be part of Weezer's lineup to play. Rolling Stone, however, says, Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner is still set to perform with the band at Coachella despite an incident this week. That's what Rolling Stone says, that he will be there. My guess, and I know how people feel about Rolling Stone,